Hallo Leute! Today's verb is raten, which actually has two different meanings that I both want to talk about really shortly because they're really different. The first one is raten, or also erraten, which means to guess. So if you just without the r, if you just raten, that means, you just guess. I have to guess. Ich muss raten. If you erraten something, that means that you guess something correctly. So for example, I guessed the number. Ich habe die Nummer or Zahl erraten. So in the case of erraten, it's used with an accusative object, etwas, or also jemanden, although normally I would say it's a thing that you guess. And if it's just raten, it just means to guess, as in I have to take a guess. Now the second meaning this has is to advise. In this case, it is used with both. I can't speak today. In this case, it is used with both a dative object and an accusative object. So it would be jemandem etwas raten. You can't translate that literally in English, but if you did, it would mean to advise somebody something. So basically, you're giving somebody advice on something, or to do something rather. The reason I'm making that distinction is because in German you can also say jemandem raten, etwas zu tun, which is actually the literal translation for to advise somebody to do something. Because jemandem etwas raten is just the general term or the general expression we use to basically to say that somebody received advice from somebody else. Not necessarily to do something specific, but just, they got advice of some sorts. So in this meaning, it is combined with two objects. We also have some prefixes that this can be combined with, but we're not going to bother with those today. So for the forms, we have the a to ä change, and everything else is pretty standard. So we would have ich rate, du rätst, sie es rät, wir raten, ihr ratet, sie raten. Now, one short note on pronunciation: make sure that you pronounce the a long and not short, because then you would get raten, which is, it's not a verb. It means it means rat. So people would be pretty, confused as to what you're trying to say. So it's a long a, but I don't think many of you would have had problems with that anyway. So remember the two different meanings, and that for to guess, if you want to use an accusative object with it, you need to use erraten. And that for the advice meaning, you can either use two objects, or sorry, you always use two objects, but you can either just go with jemandem etwas raten or jemandem raten etwas zu tun. That's for people who are already a bit advanced and can actually, who actually already know these two forms. Otherwise, just as always, remember the irregular forms, and everything else, you will learn in time. And that is it for today. I will see you on Tuesday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Tschüss!